Welcome to After Dark at the Fixed Ops Roundtable, featuring Katrina Ness, Vanessa Collins, and Ted Ings. This episode is brought to you by BG Products, partners beyond products. And now for your hosts, Ted Ings, Vanessa Collins, and Katrina Ness.
Good evening, everyone. Happy Monday, and welcome back to the Fixed Ops Roundtable's After Dark show. I'm Vanessa Collins, joined by Katrina Ness and Ted Ings. And tonight is a very exciting episode as we have all technicians here with us tonight. We have our very great friend at the roundtable here with us, Marco Zwanenberg, as well as Curtis Gardner, Audi Tech at Audi North Houston, and Lucas Wiola, technician at Porsche Sacramento. I believe I butchered the last name. Uyoa.
There you go.
We were trying to perfect it earlier in the green room, and I thought I had it, but I need a little bit more practice, I think.
Okay.
All right. Well, welcome, everybody. Thank you for being here. Marco, look what you started once again.
What can I say, Ted? There's no stopping a technician. And now we have, two more great stars with us. So here we go. Fixed Ops Warriors.
That's right. That's right. Marco, what do you see happening right now out in the real world in the tech space?
Oh God! First of all, there's still the crying shortage of technicians, as we talked about quite often. But I see there's a lot of interactions with social and with technology, such as MPI videos, which we have made a very hot topic nowadays. And the fine gentlemen that I'm on with today, they are absolute stars in this, and I'm really curious to see what they have to say about it. So let's roll this show.
Lucas, I think you know this gentleman in the chat, Larry Sherman. Am I correct with that?
I don't know. Larry Reuter is my service manager down here, possibly the best service manager I've had in my career.
There you go. All right. So, Katrina, looks like we're live tonight.
Yep, we're live. The comments are rolling in. Larry's in the chat, as well as Tony Owens. So we have the best, joining us this evening.
Yep, Larry Sherman is the parts manager at Jaguar Land Rover Sacramento. So welcome. And Curtis, welcome to you. First time on the After Dark.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, great to see you. We were talking about your Instagram in the green room. Richard Lupo, good evening. Curtis, you got a pretty sizable following on Instagram from what I hear.
Yeah, it's just been going for a few months, and it's slowly building. It's definitely a process. It's a new process for me, so I'm learning every day, and it's pretty exciting.
That's awesome. Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
Sean Kingry's in the chat. He's going to get his wish. So, Sean's been talking about Vanessa for a long time, taking the roundtable to a fifth day, right? Yeah. Yep. So something happened today that we may have to add some content for a fifth day in May. So he is very, very happy tonight, Sean Kingry. So yeah. So we'll let you open that part of the event. So all right, good. All right. Well, ladies, we had a big segment on tech videos. Jen, good evening from Michigan, and Vanessa and Katrina, maybe you want to have some questions for these gentlemen.
Of course. So, Curtis, as you are active on social media already, you recently posted a video saying that a lot of techs, they're not just afraid of the camera, but they're also afraid of how they sound behind it. And confidence on the video is not just about acting perfect. Kind of elaborate and dive into that idea, especially as a technician filming, those videos and those MPI videos as well.
Yeah, I think most technicians don't show themselves on the camera. So when you're talking and then you start to hear yourself on the video, or even just hear yourself talking, and there's things that you have to talk about when you're describing it to the customer. I think a lot of people get shy and nervous. They get uncomfortable, and that leads to people not wanting to do the videos, and it reduces their comfortability and confidence with those videos. So I think it's important to practice talking behind the camera, really, and how you can build up your script or build up the things you're saying and build a repetition so it feels more comfortable and genuine coming from you, and you're not just reading like a robot script or something like that.
Vanessa, this hashtag here, WWMD, I don't know if you're aware what that stands for, but it stands for a question we ask here very often: what would Marco do? So whenever the roundtable we have questions, typically the panel, somebody will say, well, I don't know, let's ask him. Marco, what would you do? So.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Curtis, I think, Curtis, you brought up a great point about being natural, especially when those videos are going to customers. They want to, hear someone that sounds like they know what they're talking about, and it's not scripted and it's not being read, because that doesn't feel natural. And, it's not authentic. Marco, what would you do?
Well, what I do is, like, first of all, I think that a very important part of the MPI videos is, whether it's an update video or an inspection video, is that you do show yourself. If there's one thing that we've learned through the whole pandemic, is that people just crave personal attention. They love to see the faces that they're working with, hear the voices, meet the people that they're working with. So instead of just being a voice or being a text coming through or a video, they would love to see who's working on the video on their car, so they can personalize the experience that they're having. So having a personalized experience, knowing who's working on your vehicle, creates a bigger return on what you're trying to sell. And I'm sure that both of my my fellow panelists here agree with me on that one. But it will also definitely create more of a retention for the people, because you have personalized their experience. You have showed them value to what they're paying for. You show them personalization. You show them personal interest in their investment and in their time.
Yeah, absolutely.
David Lucas in the chat tonight. Good morning. He's in Australia, just so you know, he's a little ahead of us. But David is another one who came on camera in a big way in another part of the world, and has now taken that country by storm. He's got a big presence on LinkedIn and on a couple other platforms. So congratulations, David, to you as well. And Tony Owens is here. Look at that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Now, Lucas, we've seen your tech videos, or I have at least, on LinkedIn. You are creating them not only, for our platforms, but also, you're creating for your dealership at Porsche Sacramento. So first of all, how has that been going? And how do you feel about kind of becoming the face of the dealership? And, what are some of your top tips for filming the tech videos and with yours being so successful?
Thank you. I think that my tech videos have become more of my standard, as I've only been in the industry about 3 years now. And when I started in the industry at the dealership level, videos were standard. They were starting to roll out, and I got comfortable with it very early on in my career, and I thought that was just the standard. So as I have continued to progress and learn, as I have become more and more of going from an apprentice technician to a line technician, I've gotten a lot better with my videos over the course of time. And I think that for new technicians that are struggling with getting in front of the camera, or even just getting behind the camera, is it's confidence. Like Curtis said, is it's having a script to stick to, but also at the same time not sounding like a robot. It definitely does help when you have a couple of talking points that you want to hit with every customer. Of course, our measurements, like our tires, our brakes, and even like the overall condition of the undercarriage of the vehicle, are a lot of things that I touch on with every vehicle, because it's something that I believe that every customer deserves to know. And like you said earlier, it is something that they're paying for. They're paying for this experience, and we want to make sure that they're reaping the benefits of what they're paying for. So I try to go over a lot of those, and I try and let a lot of technicians know is that try and go in the same order every time you're doing a video, and hit your main talking points. Make sure you greet the customer, you thank the customer at the very end of your video, because we do want to thank them for bringing their vehicle into service. Out of all the places they could have chosen, they chose the dealership. They chose us. And we have to show them that at the dealership level, we are the best of the best. Here at Porsche Sacramento, we pride ourselves of being the absolute best in the area. We don't want our customers taking their Porsches to these Joe Schmo's auto shops. We want them coming here, because we know that we can provide the best service for them and for their vehicles. So we have to demonstrate to our customers that we can do that to them. And that the MPI videos are definitely a huge important part of that. And it definitely does foster a lot of good customer relationships alongside that.
For sure. And your confidence, it shines through, not just in the videos, but also here tonight. So, I mean, are your fellow technicians kind of coming to you for pointers, or are you providing some type of training on these videos?
Only when asked. I know a lot of our technicians are a little bit set in their ways, so they're a little hesitant to change, as most technicians are in the industry. But I feel like as time continues to progress, I've gotten 1 or 2 comments about how should I continue to make my videos better, or how have you improved over time? And little pointers here or there, just like I had mentioned earlier, have been like the repeat points or talking points that I've gone over with them.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Definitely. And Lucas, you talked a little bit about what these videos should include. Let's dive even deeper into the nitty gritty. How long should these videos be, and why is it important about this length? Marco, if you want to kind of dive into this, that would be awesome.
Now, I might have a little bit of a differing take in comparison to Marco or to Curtis. I know a lot of technicians try and keep their videos under a minute or like 1:30. I will push them to about 2 minutes, just because I know that there's a lot of information that these customers deserve to know. And I think that by being thorough and showing them with the camera, getting in there, showing them the brakes, showing them the tire tread depths on all 4 of their tires, I believe that they need to see these kinds of things, because for customers, seeing is believing. If they can see what our gauges read, then they're more likely to either purchase the upsell, or they're more likely to trust us if they can see what we're showing them. And I think it normally takes about 2 minutes for me to go top to bottom on these vehicles and show them every little nook and cranny that they really want to see.
Wow.
Vanessa, would you say Tully's smiling ear to ear right now?
Oh, for sure. Absolutely. He's got to be so proud. And that, honestly, I would love to hear Marco's point of view after, but that does make sense. You know, I feel like a customer is never going to be upset about learning, you know, as much as they can about their vehicle. Rather, they would be upset if they, you know, missed a part and they're left, you know, having questions and having uncertainty about their vehicle. Marco, what's your viewpoint on the topic and the timing of these MPIs?
I think that's Lucas has an absolute golden point there with going over everything and taking your time explaining everything, which definitely has its place and time. I would definitely not do like 30 seconds or less, because that will just give you a rushed feeling like, yeah, okay, whatever, I'm doing this, but, you know, I want to, you know, get away from it. Yeah. So I would definitely stick with at least 1 minute. I think more important than the time that you spend on the video is how you go through your process. Like Lucas says, he's got a script. Like Curtis mentioned that too. It's like, keep going over the thing the same way that you do every time. That way you learn it. It's much easier to keep your camera pointed at things that you already know you're going to, but speak clearly. And sometimes that's hard in the shop where there's a lot of noise going on. So investing in a good set of headphones that have noise cancellation on it. I know some of them, you know, this company for fruit makes a really good set, even though, you know, I'm the robot company, but they make a really good headset that has excellent noise cancellation. But definitely take your time, speak slowly, not like this, but just speak slowly and so people can hear you and understand you. Use use something to point out, like a long screwdriver, use your flashlight, but follow a script. And stayed about, you know, between 1 and 2 minutes. Absolutely. Also holding in mind, you know, the bandwidth that your dealership has and what you send to customers and where you're at.
Awesome. And look at this amazing comment from Sean Kingry. Lucas, please know that I've used your videos in training sessions at my store, showing how strong you are and how easy you make it look. Thank you for that.
Wow.
Right. Awesome. That means a lot. Thank you, Sean. I appreciate it.
Oh, that's right. So cool.
So Curtis, what got you into doing these videos? Because I spotted you on LinkedIn and you were doing them, I think at one time at the store, but then also it looks like in a garage setting as well.
Yeah, so we still do the videos. Audi started us with videos a few years ago, and at first I definitely didn't want to do them, and I was very resistant to the change. But after seeing how they help, and I went full steam ahead and figured if I can get good at them now, it's only going to get better in the long run for communication, transparency, building trust. Building a video where you're showing everything and taking your time. I've noticed my videos getting up into that 2 to 3 minute range as well. And it's just taking your time. Don't talk too fast. Make sure you're showing everything. And so I've had the opportunity to practice for 3 years. So it's let me refine my process. I watch my own videos. I ask my managers. I ask people for feedback on the videos. How can it be better? And that's what led me to showing my face at the beginning and the end of the video and just keeping myself representing who I am in the video, so the customer can put a name and face together, and they're not just hearing from some random voice.
That's awesome. What about length of videos on social media, Curtis? It's a little bit of a different topic, but how do you keep a viewer's attention, and what's important when it comes to that? Because you have a large platform on Instagram and various other social media. As you mentioned, you just started TikTok as well.
Yeah, I mean, if you find that secret out, let me know, because I'm still struggling with that. But it's a most important thing is, what are you doing in the first few seconds? What's the value you're bringing to the table? And how can you continue that value through the whole video? So that I would say sometimes it's about a minute and a half is like a comfort zone, but Instagram also limits you to 1:30. So I'm more focused on shorter content, just to try to grab the attention of people. And I'm able to also use that in my actual tech videos. I try to start with something interesting, specifically like customer concerns, because that's why they're there. It's interesting to them. So if I'm starting with that, it keeps them interested maybe for longer than if you're starting to sell something right out of the gate.
Curtis, what about YouTube? Anything on that?
I've tried some YouTube stuff. I just honestly haven't put enough time and effort into it. I'll get a little motivation to do some YouTube content, put it out for maybe a week or two, and then go a little silent. But I'm trying to work into it a little bit more. The long form is a little bit more challenging for me.
Okay. Yep. YouTube takes a while to figure out, but it's owned by Google, right? So once you post something on YouTube, it'll pretty much get indexed like within 10, 15 minutes on Google, so they can find you quickly if you post a YouTube video. So that's something we found.
Yeah, I've tried to do some of my training content through there, and the video inspection thing that you mentioned earlier, Katrina, I posted that on YouTube. It's about a 17-minute video on how to build confidence. So it's just trying new things, I guess, like you said, Ted, and just getting it out there.
Lucas, do you think, if let's say Vanessa or Katrina, do you think if you had time to train them on how to do, let's say, a tech video under the car, do you think they're teachable and trainable, to show what a customer would need to see on these videos?
I think everybody's teachable. And I think that's one thing in our industry that a lot of instructors don't realize, is that everybody's teachable to a certain extent. And when it comes to these MPI videos, everyone's very teachable. I mean, you took someone like myself who was brand new and green to all of this, and I was instructed from someone who didn't want to do videos in the first place. And then I was able to grow my skills from there. So by having someone like myself or like Curtis or Marco showing everyone like how to do these videos, it would make it a lot easier, because we have that desire to do these videos. So everyone's teachable to an extent.
Yeah. And I think that's a great point, because when Vanessa and I started at the Fixed Ops Roundtable, it was not our jam, filming social media and being in front of the camera. We were like, Ted, like, what are you having us do? Post on social media like that, like nothing like that. But over time, you get comfortable with it. Yes, push boundaries and go outside your comfort zone.
Yeah.
Thank you, David.
That's awesome.
Lucas, you said something about how the person who taught you didn't necessarily even like these MPI videos. So how important is it to have management buy-in when it comes to these new processes like the MPI videos?
I think it's really important, because if management will get behind something, it shows the technicians that they actually care about what they're doing, and they're not just pushing a pointless policy into the shop that they think will work on paper. Because we see that a lot in our industry, that management will try and push things that are theoretical, or they look good in the numbers, or they look good on paper. But when you actually start to see these different managers start to push things in, and then really start to back them, to buy into it, to really convince the technicians or show the technicians that we can be more profitable by doing this, it definitely helps the technicians with our comfort level in it, because it now goes from something that we initially don't want to do to, okay, we could see how this could financially benefit us. We could see how this could financially benefit the customer in the long run.
Yeah, that's awesome. Thank you.
Definitely. And then Marco, in our ever-changing industry, how is this taking it to the next level and, expanding the fixed ops department?
It's a matter of, do you like to eat? Do you like to pay your bills? Just like having to use scan tools nowadays, and having to keep up with the latest and greatest of technologies. This is just a part in your inventory of promoting yourself, promoting your paycheck, and keeping yourself and your dealership at a top-notch place to where for a long, long time you have, veterans like me that are still eating and youngers coming in like Lucas that are doing great. And then guys like Curtis in between the two of us pretty much. So we got a nice stack up here tonight. But I think it's just one of those things that just like texting customers right through your computer system. And we started off with just pictures, adding pictures to it. It is just something that you cannot do without. You don't do this, you will go hungry. If a dealership is not behind this, and it's, especially if it's a dealership that presents the idea with a pizza party during the technician's lunchtime, and we all know how I feel about that. So, like Lucas said, if management is behind it and we have a chance, yes, we will resist. First thing, we will resist. We always will. Let us play with it for a little bit. Then we start to find it out. Then with encouragement, however you want to do it, either paying for it or having competitions about the videos, it will roll out, and you're going to have to. There's so many things that have changed in our industry that this is just one of them that you have to embrace. And if not, it's just not going to work.
Definitely.
Marco was interviewed by several publications, including Rapid Recon, and there was an article, and they said, what do you recommend that shops do or don't do? And he said the first thing is don't buy pizza. All right, so.
No pizza. No. If it's good pizza, from a really nice local pizza joint that makes it himself, then I'd say maybe so. But other than that, come on, guys, we are worth our weight in Bitcoin. Don't give us, the cheap pizzas, pretty much. Just don't. You can do better than that.
That's right. Very good. A lot of folks in the chat tonight. Jim Sabino, do you want to weigh in on this? Are you doing MPIs there at All American Ford in Paramus, New Jersey? I think that you are. Ron, welcome tonight. And yeah, you're exactly right. It makes it personal. It builds trust. I think Curtis used the word transparency as well. So, Marco, it's very refreshing to hear everybody on the panel tonight, talking about this new thing, right?
Right.
MPIs.
There's one thing that we don't talk about when it comes to the MPI videos. If you use your personal device, check with your managers what is the company's policies and procedures when it comes to social media, because some companies are very strict about you having identifiable information on your personal device that you carry out. So that's just a word of warning that I'd like to throw out there.
Yep. Very good. Yep.
I think something that was also useful for me in getting used to the videos was getting the feedback and the numbers, the percentages of how my approvals went up over the last few years. So 3 years ago, I was getting approval ratings at about 20 to 25%, and now I'm up around 50 to 60% since I've been doing videos. So almost doubled my approval percentage over just doing the video inspections, getting good at them, and explaining everything, nice and slow to the customers. And it's been exciting for me because my paycheck has seen those results as well. And so as a technician, I think that's one way you can is communicate with techs, is show them the numbers, keep them updated, showing that they're doing good or help them improve. Because if they're just doing videos and no one's telling them they're good or bad, they'll never be able to improve.
Exactly.
Curtis, what about time for approval? How long does it on average take for a customer to look at to get back to you?
With the videos, it's definitely reduced the approval times. They're seeing about a 15 to 20% reduction in approval times because the customer has that video. They're able to see that information. They're hearing straight from the technician. There's no advisor. The advisor's in contact, but you watch the video first, and then you're already making the decision. You can send that video to your siblings, your spouse, someone else that maybe has a little bit more experience in the space, and they can watch the video and help you make a decision, or the facts are there right in front of you. You can't argue with the leak or whatever component you're seeing, and that just speeds up the yeses and nos.
Right. Curtis, tell us your perspective on how these videos are changing the industry and also social media. How's that changing the industry?
I mean, it's definitely changing it for the better. Like I mentioned, the transparency and trust, and giving dealerships, and not just dealerships but shops, a little bit better reputation. That some of the things we're talking about and showing are, you can see them right for yourself. There's no, curtains or anything covering up what we're doing or what we're talking about. And as long as the technician is, speaking in a manner that represents them and the dealership, I think it's changing this industry and significantly in the right direction.
That's awesome.
Very impressive. I like that a whole lot. Lucas, Tully's a big supporter of this as well. Do you get to hear often from management about these videos and going through, what the open percentages are and what the approvals are?
Yeah. So one thing that's really nice is that our management here is amazing. I cannot talk good enough about them, that they're great here. They will constantly tell us, hey, your videos are doing well. Our advisors will come out and say, hey, the video you did on this vehicle resonated really well. It sold. And our advisors are pretty good about coming out and telling us these things. Not only that, but the Nilo company has something called the Nilo Company Network. And it's this TV that we have in the shop. And it displays all of our times, all of our sold work, our percentage goals, our objective goals, our same day selling rate, our upsell rate. I know Tully was saying that it was about 70% right now. So it displays all of this information to us. Now, do we check it every day? Maybe. Only when it's up. But I'll admit, I don't check it every day. I'm not always focused on the numbers. I try and keep my head down in the engine instead of looking up there. But I will admit, and to second and to kind of echo what Curtis was saying, is that as my technician video quality has improved, my same day selling and my upsell numbers have greatly improved over time. I've seen a drastic impact over the course of just 3 years. And that's not a lot of time comparatively to guys like Curtis and guys like Marco. But in times like that, where I've seen a huge and substantial increase in my same day selling and in my big numbers of stuff that's actually getting sold. Big jobs are getting sold because customers are seeing and believing.
That's incredible. And being able to physically see that, on your performance board, that's so important, and not just, applicable to the sales side, but, having that in fixed ops is so important. So I'm happy you mentioned that.
Great stuff. Marco, in your years as being a technician, have you seen something like this before? I mean, this thing has really caught on, it seems.
Well, it's, technology has gotten so far so quick that, when I started this line of work, the phone was on the wall with a cord. I was syncing carburetors and setting dwell angles. So I went from working on a Flintstone mobile to to Starship Enterprise just in these years. So the technology around it, just like the computers, the scan tools, everything else, all the electronics, and all the ways that we have now to contact customers have increased just as much. What we had before this was pictures. We could, text a picture to a customer, maybe attach it to an MPI report if you were able to get it off your phone and onto the computer in the correct format, which that by itself, you need to be an IT professional for that. But with this, it integrates with most of the programs that we have. It's fast, it's easy, and it is personal. It is so much more personable than a picture is. So it's just great. And with, guys like Lucas coming on board and, eventually taking over for me, and Curtis just expanding it into branding himself on social media, how can you go wrong with this?
I love it.
Agreed.
Marco strikes again. Katrina, I hear that Marco might be paying us a visit to New York in early June. Yeah. I think you're on mute too.
We're hoping so. That would be absolutely awesome. It would be
absolutely.
So
like I said, Ted, this is going to be the alumni visit here. Back to New York.
You have to. You were once there. Yeah. Bring it back.
That's right. And then there's something in September, I believe, up north, but we'll talk about that.
We have some time, some things in between, events to attend to.
Katrina, tell us what's going on in September.
Yeah, at Northwood University, where Vanessa and I study, we have the largest new car outdoor auto show in North America, and that is 100% run by students. And I'm the general chair of the show for the 62nd year. So super exciting. A couple years ago, we started working with the Fixed Ops Roundtable and bringing different panels and different industry professionals on campus that weekend. So it's a great networking opportunity and just a great opportunity for the students as well to experience the automotive industry.
So, Katrina, I told LG Bright at Northwood University that this year I think they need to hear from the voice of the technician. All right.
Yeah.
And first thing I did was I got a hold of Marco. I said, Marco, I think this is the one that you have to actually be at. Okay. In September. Yeah. When is it? The 18th of September?
Yeah. The 18th is a Thursday through the 21st. So the show's open the 19th through the 21st, Friday through Sunday.
How many people come into that show?
Well over 35,000, I'd say. It's hard to track numbers because we are free admission, but it's very large. A lot is of the local community, and then our industry and alumni that come in for it. So,
all right.
Yeah,
a lot of good things. So, Marco, I think the voice of the tech is going to be important this year.
I think I can do nothing else but show up. So it's a date.
All right,
I love it.
Good. And congratulations, Katrina, on being the general chair this year. I know it's a lot of responsibility. So,
thank you.
So great stuff. In the meantime, we have a big event coming up May 12th. It is the Fixed Ops Roundtable. All systems go. It is a 4-day virtual event, which I understand may now have something on a 5th day as well. Monday through Thursday, 9 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. It is actually, Vanessa, it goes to 5:30 p.m. each day. And I think we're going to add something on Friday. Now you're going to see an announcement on that. So the show has become that big. We have 177 speakers, 51 panels this time around. 51. First time we broke 50 panels. So
the best yet.
Got Frank Lopes as our keynote speaker, and we got a lot happening. And then off to the World Trade Center on June the 4th, Marco. So a lot. And these gentlemen around you are going to learn about a lot of events and things that we're doing. So
absolutely,
I wouldn't be surprised to see them at some of these as well, Marco.
They're better. I mean, I can't do it all by myself. Come on, guys, step it up.
Yeah, for sure.
Head works me pretty hard.
More than happy to fill in those shoes, Marco.
Perfect. Come on up, buddy.
Great appetite for fixed ops, Curtis, as you know, and it's growing and growing. And 6 years ago, I think I was kidding around earlier, but we didn't know if anybody was going to show up for our first event. And
right.
now it's a good size event. So
absolutely.
Vanessa, what did we miss?
I think that covers it.
All right, cool. All right, well, I want to thank Curtis Gardner for being here tonight, Audi Master Technician, and we're going to see a lot more of Curtis coming up here, I think, in the next few weeks and months and longer. Okay, so congratulations, Curtis, on the success you're having. Thank you for being part of this. And Lucas, I'm glad we bumped into you at the pop-up event in Sacramento last month.
Absolutely. It's been a blessing in disguise. Thank you guys for having me here.
Great job. And Marco, it gets better and better. What would Marco do?
Right. Marco would just keep on going. There's no sky, there's no limit.
All right. Awesome. All right. On behalf of everybody here tonight, including Vanessa and Katrina, I'm Ted Ings, and we'll see you back on Wednesday night live.